saw this comment where this guy was saying that he wants to do full body, but he also wants to be able to do deadlifts. And he currently does upper lower, and he was currently saying that he feels like he already has a really hard time recovering. How would he implement deadlifts into his full body programming in order to actually recover in time for his next session? Because obviously, it goes without saying that deadlifts cause a lot of axial fatigue and systemic fatigue and cumulative fatigue over time. Something that works for me personally, because I do stiff-legged deadlifts every single week, it's in my 4-day full body programming, is to alternate having lighter weight isolation days and heavyweight compound focus days. It's very straightforward, but to explain it in more detail, basically I'd go in one day and maybe I'd put a lot of compound emphasis on upper body, basically. And I would do some sort of like incline bench or overhead press for shoulders, and then maybe a barbell row for back. Leg movements will still be heavy and hard, but I'm not going to do something so fatiguing as like a stiff-legged deadlift on this day, because it's very upper focused rather than lower body focused as far as for compound movements go. Following that day, the next day will be a little bit easier per se. It's still hard training, but I'm going to do a lot more machines, a lot more isolation movements, a lot less compound movements in order to give my CNS just a break, basically. And then going into the next day, which is going to be a heavy compound focus day again, I'm going to shift the focus to lower body. This will be the day that I do barbell squats and stiff-legged deadlifts. For my upper body, it'll still be heavy, but it's not going to be something like a pec deck or whatever. It's going to be like an incline dumbbell, something that's a little less fatiguing than like an incline barbell, in my own personal opinion anyways, but still heavy, still a heavy compound. And then the fourth and last and final day of the microcycle is going to be, once again, very not so compound specific. It's going to be very isolation focused, once again, in order to give my CNS a break, because then going into the next day, after 1 to 2 rest days, whatever my body feels it needs, then I go back in and I do, heavy compounds for upper body again, and I just repeat the process. So yeah, there you go. If you feel you're going to have a really hard time recovering doing full body, especially trying to implement heavy compound movements such as deadlifts and barbell squats, that's the best way to go about it. It works for me. So yeah, give it a try.